guys, what is going on? Thanks so much for tuning in. Happy Tuesday or happy day, whatever day you're watching this. I hope things are going well. It's been pretty intense lately, right? This time of year brings up a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions. So let's look into it. Let's look into the day, into the energy, see what's going on. I'm gonna stick with the same decks I've been using because I'm feeling them, feeling the vibe. All right, highest and best. These are collective readings, they're general energy. If it resonates with you, it's meant for you. I like the readings to be timeless, you know, which just, again, reiterates, if it's meant for you, then it's meant for you. Pick it up. All right, so let's look. Highest and best message. Okay, receive. Actually, that legit just popped out while I was shuffling. You know, so there is, okay, like, life is heavy, right? We all move through ups and downs. This time of year can be very fast-paced, very intense. So it's just talking about that element of taking a step back, allowing yourself to receive in whatever way you need to, right? That can be from someone else. That can be through self-care, love, you know, saying no to something, saying yes to something that you really want to do, you know. And I really love this energy because it is talking about that power of choice, right? Like, we can feel overwhelmed and engulfed by our circumstances, depending on what's going on in our life right now, you know, kind of what situation is on our mind. But we always have that power of choice, right? And sometimes, in order to understand what choices we need to make, what's highest and best for us, we have to take that step back, right? We have to give ourselves a little bit of space to kind of tune in to what our body, mind, soul is saying, right? Like, you know, and I'm saying this in the way that, like, sometimes what we really want, sometimes what we wish something was, and it's not, we have to make decisions accordingly, you know? Like, maybe there's something that's not really working, right? Maybe you keep hitting your head up against a wall around a certain, like, person or situation. And so when you keep finding yourself in that same space of tension and resistance, it's stopping and taking that step back and really seeing kind of where you need to reevaluate and really, like, what your heart is calling you towards, right? Sometimes we can misconstrue certain things that happen in life, like the hard stuff, as bad or negative, especially if it just, like, triggers stuff we don't really want to look at. But the reality of this longing card, I love this because to me this is about you really, again, like, connecting with your heart space and saying, like, what are these goals that I'm practically trying to achieve in my life? What do I want my life to look like? And then what are the steps that I need to take in order to get me there? Because something's not working. You keep pushing forward, right? You keep doing the do, like what you have to do in order to keep things up and running. Maybe you're saying yes to too many things. Maybe you're, you know, putting your hands in too many cookie jars, so to speak. But it's not necessarily garnering the results that you're looking for, right? And I think to me, it's about connecting, again, with that heart's longing, right? Okay, so what is your heart saying to you about these things? Okay, yeah, you might want your business to be successful or that relationship to come together, or, you know, to be your person long-term, whatever kind of goals you have set up for yourself. Yeah, you want that to manifest. Sometimes we have to take a step back and look at the practicality where we do have the power to control, right, the situation, and work from that space versus trying to push or force the issue, because changes are afoot regardless, you know. This is definitely a cycle ending, but also a new beginning as well. And I feel like you had to kind of, you know, I feel like there is a little bit of self-protection here. There's this level of, you know, like sometimes depending on the magnitude of your situation, change is hard, right? It can be very uprooting, very uplifting, uplifting, I don't know, uprooting for sure, you know, and it can kind of mess with us a little bit. And so it's almost saying like, don't let it like block what you're working to create. It's almost like, I feel like you're looking at all this stuff that you have going on and it feels like a little bit suffocating. It feels like you're limited. It feels like, you know, like we were talking about, I'm doing all these things to make this thing happen and it's just not manifesting. But to me, this is that element of like, you know, making the right choices, so to speak, right? The highest and best choice is what we'll say, right? Because like, it's about working smarter, not harder, putting your energy in the right direction. That's going to actually help open up the flow. And sometimes having too many things going on at once, they call it split energy, right? Like where, it's almost, you know, like you're functioning out of a lesser capacity in all these different areas instead of just like thriving in one to three. I don't know what the maximum number is, but maybe just one. I've heard like multitasking is bad. I don't know. I love to multitask, so I can't really speak to that, but all right, let's look a little deeper. So what is this? What is this that you're dealing with? Yeah, new beginnings, transition. I feel like that came out yesterday. You know, really kind of wanting to dive into that creation, that potential, you know, and I think you feel empowered, you feel impassioned, but it's almost like this is blocking you, right? So you probably had to make a lot of choices about how this was going to look. You had to shift some different dynamics in your life, whether that was people, places, things, you know, and in order, ooh, 2 came out, okay. That's that King of Swords energy, okay, and 9 of Wands. So it's like I think that, you know, it does feel very much like this uprooting energy. You shifted a lot to kind of allow this new beginning to come into play. You know, I feel like you had to make a lot of decisions about a person, place, or thing that was just resistant, that wasn't working, that wasn't, you know, kind of vibing. You guys weren't working in synchronicity is what I'm hearing. There was just a disconnect, and I feel like it forced you into this place of making new choices. And I think you've worked really hard to get here, but I think there's also something that you feel like you're not getting in return. That's why Spirit's saying like, hey, you know, and sometimes receiving can be as simple as just like validating yourself, validating all the steps that you've taken to get where you're at, right? And saying like, giving yourself that pat on the back, but also like being available to receive from others, you know, not being afraid to claim what you want. And that's really what that 2 of Swords energy is all about. Making decisions about what is truly in alignment with you, what your heart is truly longing for. And I feel like you haven't really, like you haven't found your peace yet, you know, and part of that might be because you are still kind of working through these changes, you know. There's been a lot going on. There's a lot of mental energy. There's a lot of shifts, a lot of new beginnings. So I feel like some of that is really challenging you to, you know, take a step back, not rush forward. Mars is still in retrograde in the planets in astrology. So, you know, it's being cautious about those things, having limitations, but also I hear like paying attention to what those limitations, you know, are expressing. Sometimes there's a reason that, you know, we're being put on hold. There's a blessing in disguise. Sometimes we just need to look at it, right? And I think that this is actually taking you to a place where you're going to start seeing a little bit of success, some advancement. You know, I think this has to do with like how you are growing and nurturing. What you're creating, what your goals are, what you're bringing into being. For some of you, this is about, like, this is actually whoever this person is to you, this King of Swords, that was kind of on the defensive, you know, maybe not really kind of like their way or the highway type energy I'm hearing. This is about shifting your perspective in regards to that, right? And you guys there might be a partnership here. You might have children. We have children showing up. There's Virgo energy. So like I said, it's a lot of like thought, analytical, practical thought. But I think for you, you know, let's like, I mean, I feel like you have been, you know, I think that this dynamic with this person has really shifted your life specifically. But I don't necessarily see them involved in the changes that you're making right now, you know? Because for you, I feel like you want to assess your options. You kind of want to see what else is out there. You're looking at things from more of a diplomatic perspective and recognizing, you know, this person constantly keeping me at arm's length is not helping our situation evolve. You know, they are probably going to give you something, say something to justify bad behavior is what I'm hearing. Yeah, dude, the devil, come on. This person, you know, I think, and how much do they look alike? Let's just talk about that. You know, it's this value of just, you know, I mean, I've been reflecting on this a lot, like that value of being honest with ourselves, with who we are, how we're showing up in relationship, with ourselves, with other people, etc. This person can have all the excuses in the world, right? It's 9 of Wands energy. And 9 of Wands isn't an easy space to be in because they've been through it, you know, they feel a little like, what do I want to use? Let's do this. They feel a little like bludgeoned, you know, beaten along the way. They've been through battle. They're like fighting. It's warrior energy, but it's, you know, I mean, this person is making that decision based on rationale, like kind of deduction, mathematical equation is what I mean, versus like my heart, what's highest and best for you, what's highest and best for this little bud or whomever else is involved, you know. This could be even a shared pet. All right, so let's close this out. So what do we need for today? Okay, oos. I don't read reversals and my deck's upside down, so forgive me. Okay, Black Moon Lilith, she is what comes in. It's like the curveballs, right? She knows like our weaknesses, so to speak, and especially when we're in the midst of change and evolution, she comes in and kind of dangles something in front. Are you sure you really want to do this? You know? And it can be like either sending, you know, this person can pop back up, say all the right things, you know, schmooze. But at the end of the day, you have the power of choice. And that's why it's so important for you to connect with whatever your heart is desiring, whatever you're longing for, because something is going to come in to challenge that. Are you sure you want that? Is that really what you're going for? Are you really wanting to make these changes? Okay, let's see. You know, Black Moon Lilith usually brings in a test, in my understanding. But that's a positive. A trine is a positive aspect in a chart. It actually is helping move things along, especially within this situation. Yeah, it's kind of this dichotomy, like I'm hearing it as the last test, right? With this person, with this situation, they're coming in. This energy has been bubbling underneath the surface for a lot of our daily readings lately. So it looks like this person's coming in. They're going to see, you know, hey, can I get back together with you? Or can we kind of try to do this again, etc. I don't think that they're ready yet, is what I'll say, you know. So they're not specifically coming from that space of, you know, the highest and best, right? That was that devil energy. It's Black Moon Lilith, right? Bringing up repressed desires. What are ideal, what the fantasy is versus what's actually in reality. What does it look like? You know, that's actually a great question to ask yourself if this person comes back up. What does it look like to go back into that, you know? It's always good when we're making changes and evolving through things. You know, we can get nostalgic, reminisce, miss the past, how things used to be. But then it's always really sobering to remember what it would be like to get back into that energy, right? Remembering the dynamics, remembering how it made you feel, etc. Because this is coming down to you receiving what is rightfully yours, what you've worked hard for, but you got to choose it, right? You, spirit, universe will give you, yeah, you can go back to that. I'm actually going to give you a chance and you can see if you want to deal with that again, right? But if you choose not to, then it's like bringing in something dope. Dope AF. I use some hip terminology. All right. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate your time and energy. I hope that you enjoyed. I am sending love and blessings to your situation, whatever is going on for you. If you enjoyed the video, definitely thumbs up, share, subscribe. You know the drill. If you want me to look at your personal situation, check out what services I offer. I would love and be honored to help and support in whatever way I can. Otherwise, hope to see you back. Love and blessings always. Thanks.